Okay, for those of you who don't know, I'm Garry Watson from Gordon's Restaurant in Inverkeillor. The type of restaurant it is a small, intimate, 24-seater restaurant doing what we call fine dining, modern Scottish cookery. Modern Scottish cookery, to me, is using the great produce that we have, giving it respect, keeping it simple, not overpowering the flavours, etc. with it, and just, using that as much as possible to our benefit. What I would say is, there's not a better place, and I could almost say in the world, to have a restaurant than Scotland. Scotland has got, and Angus, as it is, has got the best produce on our doorstep. One that's close to my heart is the Arbroath Smokie. Now, I've demonstrated the Smokie in many places. You go down to London with it, I've been to France with it, been as far as South Africa, and it's the same respect it gets. People are just like, wow, the flavour in it is fantastic. And the beauty of it is, you don't need to do a lot to it because the product itself is superb. What's actually better is to give this a little warm up first. And what it does is it just sort of softens the fats in it, makes it slightly easier to sort of get this bone out. But, I mean, simply pressing the centre bone down, it will just take that centre bone out straight away. We always keep these in the restaurant, use it for sort of flavouring sauces and that. But that as a product in itself, simply put on a tray, some butter on it, superb. You can make patties with it, soups with it, you can make fish cakes with it. Now the dish I'm going to do here is more just a lot of preparation really. Again, dead simple, the ingredients within it are just going to complement the dish, not overpower it. So that was one large smokie, which works out about 250 grams. Now what I'm going to make here is what we call a Smokie Brandade, but it's kind of like a modern version of a smoky patty basically, and superb as it is. Now, the smokie's been flaked. I've got some here, some just potato that's been boiled and mashed. Again, if you can use the local potatoes, superb. And it's just simple enough to just mix all this in. The cheese we're using is a Crowdy cheese, which is from the Highlands. A lot of recipes have things like Philadelphia in it, mascarpone. Why use that? Use the Scottish cheese. And all these cheeses are regularly available. So there you go, you can take the cheese from there, potatoes from here, smokies from Arbroath. Even putting it on the menu, that's what we started doing now, saying the beef's come from Gask Farm in Forfar. And people, oh, love that, or they know the farmer, and it just gives this picture. So all I'm going to do here is mix all together. Now you can do this by putting it in a food processor. I tend to think that just working it lightly with a spoon, just to get a thick paste. Double cream, again, from your local dairy, lightly whipped. We're not going about healthy. Okay, mix that in. A little bit of acidity in there to squeeze a lemon, always works well with fish. And a touch of mustard. Again, it's a Scottish mustard, about a teaspoon of that. All I can say is that, you just work around the seasons as well, what's coming into season, work menus round, work out what you're going to do through what we've got at the minute. Things like here, I've got tomatoes which are just sort of coming in. I don't use tomatoes in the winter, I just think they're tasteless. And it's like using strawberries in the winter. You see Christmas Day, people putting a fan strawberry on. It's like, oh, it's a bit of colour. You eat it, it tastes like a turnip, So, you'll not get any easier than that. Flavours there, just a little bit of salt it usually takes. I use Maldon salt a lot. You find a lot of chefs use that. It's got a lot less sodium in it. It's a natural salt. So, oops, I lit my thumb there. Never seen that. So, I've got some here in Blue Peter fashion I've made earlier. I have here little ring moulds. Now, you can present this any way you want. You can just get a ramekin, pop it in a ramekin, a few nice oat cakes from the local bakery, bit of salad, nothing the matter with that. Obviously, in the restaurant situation, They eat with the eyes, they look for that sort of wow factor. You want to sort of see it and whoa, look at that, you know. So basically what I'm going to do is take something as simple as that mix there and make it look the part. So I've got here little ring moulds. Now you can get in the cookery shop little steel rings that work at about £3 each. I've got a length of plumber's pipe. Mate's a joiner and he's got a fancy saw and he just sawed them up like that. So you know, I got about 300 for £3, you know, so great. And I've had them for ages. I've lined them with what you call acetate. You don't have to do that, you can just grease them lightly. I just do it like this, it's just neater for us in the restaurant. In the base, I've got some, basically what it is oat cakes. We make our own oat cakes in the restaurant. We do make everything from scratch. From things like the oat cakes right through to we do our own chocolates and things like that. It is a big difference. In here I've whizzed it up in the food processor, some herbs. I put some thyme and rosemary in there, a little pinch of celery salt, some butter. I just made it like you do a cheesecake base, you know, like just for a chocolate cheesecake or something. I've packed that in the bottom of the mould, set it in the fridge. And then all I've done is carefully piped in the smoky mixture. Just check that this comes out right. And I've left like a small part on the top. Now what you could do, you could just keep it simple, put a bit of creme fraiche with some of the coarse and mustard, a wee bit of lemon or lime in it. What I've got here is a puree of, I've got peas, broad beans and avocado, a bit of creme fraiche, some lime. You could put some coriander in there as well if you want. And it's almost like a sort of guacamole type. This gives another little dimension to the dish. And I just whizzed it up again with a stick blender, get it nice and smooth. Works a lot better when the avocados are a lot riper. Usually the hasp ones, they work the best. Always glad when that comes out and I want it. Now, take the acetate off. Just smooth them up a wee bit. This is me just being a wee bit of a perfectionist. Again, the tomato, you can use whatever in the winter time. I do it with sort of citrus things. Use sort of apple, pink grapefruit, dill dressings. But I mean, obviously you've got the tomatoes coming in just now. I forgot my fork, so just to do it on the end of a knife. Now we get the tomato, just to take the skin off. You've probably seen this done before. All we're doing is blistering the skin off the tomato. Now the reason to take the skins off is the skins are indigestible. And you get left this nice bright red tomato. You can see how ripe that tomato is. I had one this morning, really sweet, superb. Now we're going to do what we call concasse, which is tomato with no seeds and no skin. Again, the seeds are indigestible as well, but what we do is we chuck them in a stock pot and then just nice dice. Now I'm just going to use these just as they are. You can mix it with some olive oil, a bit of herbs. You make what you call a sauce vierge, and that can be served warm, just drizzled around a bit of pan-seared fish. But they're that nice just now that you really just don't really need anything on them. As I said, I tasted them this morning, they're very sweet. Sometimes you need a little pinch of sugar in it or a wee bit of seasoning, but not today. And again, smack and season broad beans. So we're going to use them. All I've done is just blanch them in boiling salted water for a couple of minutes. And just pop a couple of them around. Because there's also some broad bean in that puree there, so that's just bringing out the flavour of that. And now what's quite trendy now is what we call micro herbs. got different ones here, rocket, coriander. It's just a case of placing them on, they look the part, and nice little bursts of flavour, so when you're eating it, you're getting different flavours each time. Little sorrels there. So you can see all these nice colours and nice and light for a summer dinner or lunch. What you've always sort of think about when you're cooking is just sort of that each mouthful's different. You know, you tend to get a meal and it's like the first mouthful's the same as the last. You'll sort of want different flavours, different textures, something to speak about, and that's what this dish has. I also made like a little tomato dressing. Basically just making a tomato soup. There's a bit of red pepper in there as well. Nice and smooth, and it's cold. So we'll splash a few little dots around. Again, giving little bursts of flavour. Add some balsamic. This here is a 10-year-old balsamic. Quite expensive, probably about £20 a bottle is what we pay for it. Hence why I'm using hardly any of it. But you can buy a balsamic vinegar out the supermarket. Just a standard one. Reduce it down by half. A little pinch of sugar in it, so it goes that syrupy way. And there we'll have it. Now I have, don't worry, because I know I've got some here and I've got some little homemade oat cakes as well, so I'll pipe them out and let you sample them. Wee drizzle of the olive oil just to finish it off. There we have it. A Smokie Brandade.